Hi everyone, welcome to the second advisor roundtable of the year. We are going to have another one in March, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. But also, if you're unmuted, if you could please mute yourself, that'd be great. I think I hear some like background noise from some of you. Anyways, so my name is Taylor DeSico. If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I'm serving as the international president of CKI this year. And Madison and staff, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. My name's Madison Burt, and I'm the CKI Vice President this year.
Hey, everybody. I'll go next. I'm Josh Dotson. I'm the CKI Manager Director. Thanks for being on the call. Thanks for doing what you're doing to support CKI.
And I'm Michelle Shilton. I am the Service Leadership Program Director, so that covers all of our Kiwanis club lines, including Circle K International. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys. So how tonight's going to work is we're just going to go over some updates. We have lots of updates for you all. Super exciting stuff going on in CKI this spring. And then we'll go into a little roundtable discussion. I'll ask you guys some questions. And I do ask that you all participate and really give some insightful answers. So starting off with the resources, remember there is the Membership Update Center. So your club presidents, secretaries, and treasurers should all have access. Remember, the original dues deadline date was December 1. We are way past that. And clubs will go suspended February 1st, as in like in 5 days, if dues are not paid by then. That's the last thing we want. So please make sure your clubs have paid dues, if not already, by February 1st in order to prevent suspension. We really want our members to be able to have the benefits that come with being a paid member in CKI. And there's so many benefits that they're open to them. So really make sure that your members are paid. And look, even if you don't have the 15 or 10 member requirement, just go ahead and submit the members that you do have into the roster and pay those dues. And then, of course, our international website, as I said at the last call, we do have a resources tab to access different types of resources, so including resources for yourselves. And you can always search the bar on the resources tab. Any questions about this? And it sounds like someone's, oh, it's Linda. Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay, all right, no questions on this? Okay, announcements. Like I said, we have a lot going on. So first thing, upcoming events. We have an Active Minds event on January 29th, as in 2 days, this Wednesday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This is going to be a great event. It's for all members. All members are welcome to join. You don't have to be on a board or in an officer position. Every member is welcome to join. We have an Active Minds representative named Marky. She will be coming in and giving us a presentation on not only how to take care of our own mental health, but also how we can help the people around us who may be struggling. So that's going to be a great event. They're one of our international partners, so we are super excited about that. Next, we have the virtual escape room event. This is probably going to be the most fun event of the year, in my opinion. So it is March 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, coming up in the next month and a half or so. And basically, it is Madison and I basically get lost in Pittsburgh, and the members have to try to figure out where we are with different clues. So instead of going in person and being in an escape room, it's a virtual escape room event on Zoom. It's going to be, or Teams. It's going to be really fun. So encourage all of your members to attend that as well. All members are welcome. And then lastly is Battle of the Bricks night. That is March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be like a bunch of trivia, some games where we raise funds for Brick by Brick for UNICEF. So that's it for upcoming events. The state of CKI. We are at 4,744 members as of last Wednesday. I hope that number goes up this Wednesday. We are more than halfway to our membership goal of 7,500 members, but guys, we have a long way to go. We've been doing really good, staying ahead of last year's numbers and even the year before that, but this past week, we aren't ahead of what we were 2 years ago. So we really need to keep the momentum up. We have to finish strong, and we have to make sure that we're really pushing our members to submit, go into the roster, submit their dues as soon as possible, especially before February 1, because I don't want us to lose our momentum. I think we've been doing a great job so far this year, and I really want to see our membership numbers grow this year. And it's up to you all as advisors to really make sure that the members of the club know how critical this is for them to receive benefits and all that. But great job so far. Thank you for those who have been pushing so much for the dues. International convention. Registration is now open. So every year, as you all know, we have an international convention. This year it will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and registration is open on our website. Madison, if you wouldn't mind, if you could link that in the chat really fast. Early registration is by April 1, and then regular registration deadline is May 23rd. So there's also an icon scholarship. So if you have a member who really wants to go and they're like, I don't know if I can afford the registration cost, this icon scholarship, they can apply for it and it would cover the registration cost. Of course, flights and hotel and meals, all that need to be covered on their end, but this is a great opportunity for someone to be able to go to international convention this year. It is a new member benefit that we brought this year and we're really excited about it. Next is almost done, y'all. Kiwanis Children's Fund scholarship applications. These are a separate application by the KCF, and so those will close February 1, so just in 4 to 5 days. So make sure your students are applying for those as well. They're a great opportunity. You know, they're a really good member benefit that we offer. Next, April 1, the Tomorrow Fund application opens. So it'll be open from April 1 to June 1. And basically the Tomorrow Fund, if you haven't heard of it, is a grant that you can apply for from anywhere from $200 to $2,000 US to help you accomplish a service project, to facilitate a service project. So definitely apply for the Tomorrow Fund. We had a lot of applications this last cycle and we're super excited to go through them and announce the winners, but be sure if you didn't apply this cycle, or even if you did and you don't get the funding, apply again next cycle, please. It's going to be great. And then, of course, our next roundtable we will have on March 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe that is a Monday, so definitely be on the lookout for that registration link as well. I know that was a lot. Any questions on like upcoming events or anything about CKI so far before we get into a discussion? No questions? Okay. Awesome.
You have a question in the chat from Linda.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't see the chat.
How many icon scholarships will be awarded?
Is it? I can't remember, Josh. Do you remember is it?
It is 5 icon scholarships
5,
that are covering registration.
Okay. Any other? Oh yeah. Tom, you have a question?
Yes, again, I'm slowly learning how to use this new system. Again, I'm a Zoom.
You're doing great.
Okay. All these things you've talked about, this is the first time I've heard about them. I'm not getting any information from CKI in Indianapolis or elsewhere. Why not?
Okay, so are you on the
I'm
give
the
me one.
CKI advisor for Huntington College in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay. Are you on so you don't receive communications from the district at all?
No, none.
Okay. Josh,
You and I
Michelle,
probably need to talk about that offline at some point.
Josh, Michelle, could you all speak to that, please?
Sure. I think if you can just give us your name, your club you're advising, and your email. I'll put my email in chat. You can send it. We will make sure that you're added. The newsletters are automatically pulled from the member database. So, you know, the first thing is making sure we have good data, right? So we need to make sure that you're listed as the advisor of record and that we have a good email address for you. So if we can check on those 2 things, then you should be getting and receiving. We send out a newsletter each month that has all of this information. And then if you are also online, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and so lots and lots of this information is also shared that way. But your districts should also be communicating with you as well. So we will.
Sorry.
No, just say I'll put my email here. You can send me an email with your name, email, and your club, and we will check on it for you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, like Michelle said, we are on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn, which is really fun. I'm super excited for professional development stuff for students. But the email newsletters do go out every month, as she said. So just send her your information and we'll make sure you're on that. But I will say most of our members tend to get their A lot of them tend to get their information from our social media. So if you do
Okay.
have social
Michelle,
media,
you thing that popped up with your information stopped after 3 seconds. I got a pop up, but it lasted 3 seconds. I couldn't write it down fast enough. Sorry.
That's okay. Across the top of your screen, do you have a little chat? You can click on the chat. It should show up. You're able to open a box. If not, we will.
There's a box, but your information opened up and closed in about 3 seconds. I couldn't write down.
That's
all of it
okay.
fast enough.
Let's see. Tom Anderson, what's your club at?
Huntingdon College. And I'm
All
in
right.
my
Okay.
email, all my information is there.
We will look for you and make sure you're listed as advisor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
all right, any other questions? Great question, Tom. Brian, you got
Yes.
something? You look like you want to, there you go.
I was trying to struggle with this new thing, trying to get this mic off. Okay. So I just put in the chat, our club from Sand Hills, we paid for 12, I think it was 12 or 13. And then today they just switched over semesters and everything, and we had to actually switch days and times, which now brought in 5 to 6 more people that wanted to become members. So now we need to get those extra funds in for those 5 or 6 before the 1st, correct?
So what's the enrollment at that university? Is it greater than 5,000 or less than 5,000?
Probably less than 5,000.
Okay, so for any university that has less than 5,000 enrolled, you only need 10 members to be club in good standing. Still go in and add them. But let's say it was like, or even 2-year universities. But then if it's a school that has more than 5,000 members and 5,000 students enrolled, you need 15 members, or 4-year institutions, you need 15 members. So in this case, if that were the case, you would need those to get into good standing before February 1. But since you already have the 10, you're good to go. But definitely get those 5 to 6 in before February 1 if you can, for sure.
Okay, we are a 2-year college, so just wanted to clear that up. So we
Okay,
are
so you
2-year
are in
college.
good standing.
Correct. I just needed clarification on, do we need to go ahead and pay for the additional 5 or 6 people now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I mean, it's really, for them, it's also really important. Their member benefits won't kick in until they're in the roster and paid, so they can't apply for scholarships. They can't register for any conventions or any online meetings. So while your club is in good standing, those new members aren't really members until you get them in and paid, because we want them to get all their benefits. So.
Great. All right. Thank you very much.
And just to add something to be clear for everybody, this doesn't apply to you because you're already in good standing with a 2-year college, Brian, and you've already reached good standing. Good standing does not apply to February 1st. So it's just really February 1st is about, do you have at least one paid member on your roster? That's what February 1st is about. So the suspension date on February 1st, the club won't be suspended if you have at least one member that's paid on your roster. So good standing and that suspension date are 2 different things. I want to make sure everybody understands that. And then Tom, we've gone back and forth on email a little bit. I know, Tom, maybe check your junk folder for the Kiwanis emails as well, because I'm pretty sure my folders directly to you were originally tagged there. So if we can check on our end for any. We'll ask our comms team basically if you're on their list that's automated. But another place that sometimes these mass emails from CKI, they go to a spam folder or junk folder. So make sure you're checking that for anything from Kiwanis or CKI.
Thank you. I don't think to check those that often. I will take a look. But you and I have corresponded a couple of times, and I've never had a problem with your stuff going to junk.
All right. Thank you, Josh, for that information. Eric, do you have a question?
Yeah, it's kind of off the topic of finances, but I just got proposed this. We're trying to get a new club started at a Glen Oaks College, which is a small community college. And I don't know if other states have this, but Michigan has a program that's been out the last couple of years where you can do 5 years of high school. And then what you do is your 5th year, you're really just going to the college, but they hold back credit. And that way, when you graduate, you actually get an associate's degree too with it. And the question that was posed to me is if they're a 5th year senior and they're going to the college, can they also then be a dual member in CKI? So they're trying to get that started. So
they cannot be in Key Club and CKI.
Okay.
So that is the first thing. And the biggest thing is that they just need to, especially if they're technically in high school, that they're 18.
Okay, so they have to be at least 18 and then
Yeah, I think because they're technically in high school, we want to try to, I mean, I do know there are students who are in college who aren't 18 yet, but the majority of them are almost 18 because they're technically in a high school. And I would also say is the most important thing is what does that college that they're getting credit from, does that college see them as a student who can participate in all of the college? You know, just because you're getting dual credit, it may not allow you to have a student ID, to get into all their activities, to join. So it's also would be really important to see what that college says.
Well, that I know we're not going to have a problem because the president of the college is a Kiwanis member and he wants the CKI club there. So we can make whatever policy, I think, when it comes to that. But that was his big concern because like it's just outside of Sturgis and they have like 120 key clubbers and usually about 50% of those go to this community college and then even 50% of them stay in the area. So it's a huge way to boost CKI, Kiwanis, everything in the chain. And so that was just a question that was posed to me, and I never thought about that before. So I appreciate the information.
Yep, bylaws just say you can't be in 2 clubs at once. So they would have to be done with their key club and then join the new CKI club. And then I would recommend that they be 18 just so that there's a clean, since they're still in high school. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if you think of more, you can, oh, does someone unmute? Maybe not. Okay. If you have any more questions, you can drop them in the chat. Just raise your hand. We can talk out loud as well if you think of any more. But now we're going to move into the roundtable discussion of the evening. So the first question is, how do you encourage spring recruitment in your club? So spring recruitment is so critical to the success of the organization. I was personally a spring recruit myself. I came in January as a student, didn't come in the fall, came in January. So I saw Circle K tabling out on campus and I was like, oh, this seems great. I'd love to join. So how are we encouraging our clubs to make sure that they're tabling and advertising Circle K in the spring? And if so, have you found any like creative ways to advertise in the spring?
Hey, Taylor, this is Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Eastern Michigan University did do tabling last week, and it really wasn't much different than our fall tabling, but the response was good. We probably had 12 to 14 individuals who indicated an interest, and our club will follow up with them with information and an invitation to upcoming things. We'll see what happens with that. But it really looked much the same as the fall recruitment process here.
Gotcha. Thank you, Linda. Anyone else? And to Linda's point, it's super important to follow up with these members after that initial interaction. So whether that's you want to have an interest meeting, which I'll tell you what, at least in my experience, like students love interest meetings because it's very low like stress. They can just come in and see if they like it or not. It's not a commitment right at the top. So interest meetings are great. But to Linda's point, definitely follow up after that initial interaction. That will make them feel seen and appreciated. And that's really important as well. But what other ideas?
Interest meetings should include food.
Always. We have ice cream at Alabama every year for our interest meeting, and it's great. What other ideas do we have? No more ideas on spring recruitment?
One
ahead,
thing that's
Madison.
worked really well with my club is trying to attract the transfer students who this is their first semester on campus. So some colleges have a transfer preview day or a transfer orientation, and trying to see if CKI clubs could be able to get into those transfer sessions to be able to talk to the transfer students to encourage them to join, since they're going to be wanting to get involved in clubs since it's their first time on campus.
That's an excellent idea, Madison. Thank you.
Quick question. Do
Yes.
we have any type of recruitment pamphlets or something that we can actually use for tabling?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. On our website, we have a lot of recruitment and there's literally a section called recruitment and retention resources, and you can go in there and like print off like pamphlets, like little cards. We even made this year we actually worked on it's like a little flyer, and has like a QR code that they can scan and go like see the website, and they can see their member benefits and stuff like that. So that's on the website. Madison, or someone, I think Josh is typing, if someone could link that, that would be great. Thank you, Josh. But yes, lots of resources that should be very helpful on the website. That's a great question. Thank you. Any other questions or ideas for spring recruitment? Yeah, Josh is hitting us with the links. This is great.
I would
All great
also,
resources.
sorry, Taylor. I would also
ahead.
say that you can get, and I can get the link for this too. Each club gets one free packet of brochures as well. Like you can print them off, but if you go to the web store, which I'll grab the link in a second, you can also order a free pack, and they come with, I think, 20 brochures plus maybe some stickers. Don't quote me on that, but you can get, that's also a resource on our website.
Thank you, Josh. All right, let's move on to the next question. If you have any more ideas, just drop them in the chat or raise your hand. But the next question is, what is one thing you struggle with as an advisor? Let's kind of talk about it for a second. What do you struggle with as an advisor, and what can we do to help better support you?
Well, since nobody else is talking, okay, so I'm one of the Kiwanis advisors. We have literally like 2 to 3 people that has taken an interest in staking in our CKI. Even though it's 2-year colleges, we do have a lot of participation from the kids on campus, and they really strive and try to make it work. I think two key is we have one we have one faculty advisor, and she actually came on. She was actually a backup advisor in case our main advisor, something happened to her. But then our main advisor ended up having to leave CKI altogether. So then she became the primary. Okay. And I think now it's trying to get another person to backfill her when she can't be in 3 places at the same time, because we need that involvement from that faculty advisor, which I think is crucial, especially with ours with just being a 2-year college. So we are going to have to work on getting another person to backfill our main advisor, so that with all the continuity is going forward, instead of just redoing stuff step by step again.
Right. And that is a struggle for sure. And I think it might be, and this is the faculty advisor you're talking about, correct? The one step down and the other one. Okay. So yeah, I think it might be good to go to like the student involvement office on campus or something like that. Every campus kind of calls it a different name, but see like if there are faculty members that are actively looking to be advisors for organizations on campus, that might be helpful. Does anyone else have any other ideas for Brian?
The only other thing I could think of is we have a CKI alumni network, and sometimes your best advisors just are a CKI alum that just happen to be working at that college. So we could see if we could do a search on the alumni platform and see if there's anybody that is at least in the area. We could even ask them if they know anybody who works there, or, just trying to do like through LinkedIn or this alumni platform about who's working at the school and see if you can find any connections that way. That's the only other thing I could think of right now.
Thank you, Michelle. And Josh also just linked that alumni network platform into the chat. So definitely check that out.
And even if you're not an alum and if you want to join, I think there's a place to, to say, hey, I'm an advisor. And I really am just joining to help connect my students a little bit more. We can, there's an actual real person who checks those requests to join. And so they can read that and make a decision. So.
Yes, Tom.
Hi. Okay. I moved to Montgomery, Alabama from California about a year and a half ago and decided to take on the job of being the Huntington advisor. The way CKI is thought of at least in Montgomery, is extremely different from California. They think of it not as a service leadership program. In fact, they don't have any concept of that at all, but as sponsored youth, like an outside organization. And I think, Taylor, you and I probably, after this conversation, need to get together and talk about how things work in the rest of Alabama.
Absolutely.
Because we are not getting any financial support whatsoever from the club.
From the Kiwanis Club?
The Kiwanis Club, 200 members, and they give away $400,000 a year to outside organizations. Just saying.
Yeah, Tom, you and I can definitely meet at some other time and talk about it and get in contact with district leadership as well and see what we can figure out.
Great, thank you.
Because Kiwanis support is so important. So, Josh, I'm sorry, did you have something?
I was going to say that Tom and I had talked about Givergy as being an option too, where you have a club that does not have the kind of KI support that we hope that a CKI club would have. Givergy is an option for fundraising for lots and lots of things, including for a student's own dues to CKI. In the case of Tom and Huntington, for some reason, Huntington wasn't on the Givergy list. And Tom, this is an update for you, but it could be for anybody really who's interested in Givergy. If you go onto the website for CKI and you look at Givergy, you at the link to that specific Kiwanis Givergy page, you should find your club listed there, so you would be able to pretty seamlessly start a fundraiser. Because active clubs are updated every month in that system. We supply that to Givergy, and they should be updated every month. Huntington, for some reason, wasn't in that list, and so we're working with them to update it. I haven't gotten word yet, Tom, that they have added you, but I know that they are working on it because they've given me the thumbs up that they have the information. So if you're not in the system, to me, and I can give your information and that ask to Givergy to get you in there.
Thank you, Josh.
Taylor, this is Linda. I was also going to add, if you ever like Tom's situation, I am as an advisor to a CKI club that has strong club support from our Kiwanis Club. If ever we can be helpful in being a presenter with a CKI member to a club, do a virtual presentation of some kind to help other clubs know how this can, perhaps even should, be done to support and to move forward from the past thinking to the current service leadership program, as opposed to what used to be considered sponsored youth.
Thank you, Linda.
Yep.
Anything else we're struggling with that we want to share? Maybe get some advice on? No? Okay. Well, if you think of something, as always, drop it in the chat. So next question, a little more uplifting. What is one thing you feel your club does really well? What's something that makes your club stand out or something that the members just love to do?
Okay, I'm going to throw one out there. Our club communicates extremely well. They have a couple of different group me chats that they use for different reasons, whether it be committee or service projects or whatever it is. And they do that very well. They also make all the meetings available, not only in person, but virtually, so that those who can't, we're a commuter college by and large. So if somebody can't get back to campus for a meeting, they can still join the meeting. So it's just taking into consideration what your environment is and what works best for your club. But it doesn't deter communication between the students in our club and in sending out information through the university channels on different projects that are going on. The other thing that they're doing really well this year is connecting with other student orgs on campus and working together on service projects. So many students need those service hours for their degrees and to graduate, but many of the student orgs aren't about service, and CKI is obviously about service. So they really enjoy, even if they're not members with CKI, they enjoy coordinating service projects along with us. And then oftentimes that does turn into additional members.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I was just going to kind of piggyback off what Linda said. Western is really good about, and I don't know the name of the platform, but they have a platform for all the different organizations. And so every meeting they go through there and they look at, see who can we do, pair up with to do things, and also starting to cross recruit from other organizations. So that has turned out to be a huge thing for us that these kids just started doing, and they're doing a great job at. So I think using like the tools, and I think it's through, I think they call it like an SRO or SOR organization at campus. It's like service organization groups or something like that, but is what stands. But there's a platform, and I think probably most colleges would have that. And I said you can get a lot of things we can pair up for things, and then also, like I said, cross recruit in other organizations.
Absolutely. And especially when you're thinking about like Greek organizations, like they need those philanthropy points or whatever you want to call them at your university. Like they need the philanthropy and the service hours. And also I feel like we're just coming into an age where like it's so competitive, whether students are applying for graduate school or for jobs, like you need to have more than just good grades. You need to have community service or whatever it is, or extracurriculars. And so we provide that value to them. And also I think I'll just go in for a second. What my club does really well is I go to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. We have a 9/11 memorial project every year, and we lay out 2,000, I think it's 777 flags, something like that, for each victim with each of their names on them. And every year we get coverage from multiple reporters in the local community. And so that gives us coverage in the community. So not only do students on campus, like the Crimson White, not only do they know what we're doing, but also people in the community know what we're doing and they know that we're contributing. And so I feel like that really showcases what Circle K has to offer. And it also makes sure that like students on campus know that we're doing good things, and that kind of gets us out there to say, hey, come join our organization.
I'm Lizzie, and I'm the Kiwanis Advisor at The Ohio State University, and we have signature projects. We've won in the fall called Teeter-Totter Marathon that we've been doing for over 50 years. It's the longest running service project on our campus. And so we have that every fall, which gets our students excited to do it. And then they pick where they want to donate the money to. And then in the spring, we do a lemonade stand fundraiser that most of the time goes to brick by brick, or they pick another organization, and we do that during our spring game. And then we also have a really close connection to our university Kiwanis Club. Like I went to Ohio State, and now I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club and now I'm the advisor. So we have a really good, strong like Kiwanis connection. Like they can come to us if they need anything. We have a co-advisor, which is also really helpful. So like if I can't make a meeting, our co-Kiwanis advisor can attend also. So that connection really helps with our members.
Yes. Thank you, Lizzie. What else do y'all do well at your clubs? I know
Haley, this is
something well.
Robin.
You're
Can you
working.
hear me?
Yes.
I think one of the things that our club does, I'm from Baldwin Wallace University, which is in Ohio.
Yep.
We do a lot with not just our Kiwanis clubs, but with some of the Kiwanis clubs in our area. And they do appreciate that because it gives them extra bodies to help with some of their projects. And they're also very helpful if we need to funding. They're very helpful to provide funding if we want to go to decon or fall rally or whatever it is. They see that our students give back and they want to help contribute to make sure that they have a great experience.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, it's so important to support, not only for Kiwanis to support Circle K, but also for Circle K International to support Kiwanis. That is so critical to keep that relationship strong, for sure. Thank you.
And like our club, not even working with other Kiwanis clubs, but University Kiwanis sponsors a Key Club. So our college students are working with Key Clubbers, inviting them to their events and vice versa. So that those Key Clubbers are getting exposed that, hey, when I go to college, we have the opportunity to join Circle K. And a lot of our high schoolers filter into Ohio State, or they're taking dual credit. So they know that when I graduate high school, I can join Circle K.
That's awesome. You have to keep that pipeline strong, for sure. Anyone else on this question? Okay, if you think of something, drop it in the chat. All right, next question. In case we have any new advisors on the call tonight, or even if we don't, for our returning advisors, is there any advice you would give to someone just starting out?
Kayla, this is Robin again. One
Hey.
of the things I think that really helps is that we have before school starts, we have a fall retreat. At that time, we go over expectations, we go over upcoming programs for the semester, and we lay down what we want to accomplish for the year and how many people we're going to recruit, and we start scheduling things in advance because at our campus, if you don't schedule in advance, the space is taken already. So I think having that fall retreat really helps in the sense of building a team, but more importantly, it's a great way to get to know your members and your leaders. And then we also do it again in the spring. They come back like that Sunday night before school starts, and we go over everything again, talk about what we want to accomplish and what kind of goals we want to set for that year, and et cetera.
That's awesome. What other advice do we have?
Hi, it's Tom Anderson, and I've been doing this for about a dozen years now. And where I came from, the main guiding point was that this is their club. Let them learn how to run it. This is how they learn to recruit, how they learn to engage people, how they learn how to organize, how they learn how to make an organization work. And it's not going to always be pretty, but it gives them a chance to learn how to make things work and learn how to manage when failure happens.
That is so true, Tom. Thank you for sharing. I'm pretty sure it's kind of difficult to find a balance between guidance and allowing them to really lead and learn from their mistakes, not even if they don't make a mistake, but it is so important to let them learn. And if you don't give them that learning opportunity, then they may not ever learn. And I think me personally, I'm sure Madison, Matthew can attest to this, but Matthew's the only one on the call, I don't think. But I have learned so much professional and personal development skills just from being in Circle K. 100%.
Just make sure they don't drive the bus into the ditch.
That could be problematic. Any other? Okay, so I kind of like we're segueing into the next question that I had for you all. What strategies do you use to support club officers in their leadership roles? So Tom's kind of talking about the importance of, letting them learn on their own, letting them do the job. Robin talked about his, the fall retreat y'all do and the spring retreat to plan for the year ahead. So what are we doing to make sure that the club officers are prepared and ready to go for the year ahead and confident?
I'm sure
Well,
most club, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, one of the things we do is we have our exec board meeting just before our regular meeting. And so that way we can go over things and add things to the agenda. And then basically what they do is that they have like an agenda that they have printed out. And then again, they can add things and subtract things at the meetings. And so they're basically running the meeting, but they're also doing it. They're doing adding and subtracting things as they plan the meeting ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else?
I liked that Josh said that there's not an organized board training available yet, board officer training yet. I would love to see that happen. Until that does happen, however, I think we as Kiwanis advisors or even university advisors, college advisors, can help the students go through an orientation of what each of the different board roles entail to help them understand what the job is they're taking on. And that should ideally be done even before election, so they understand what they're putting their name in the hat for, and then be available to answer their questions as they work through that learning and doing process, I think is really huge.
Absolutely. Thank you, Linda.
Our exec board does like a transition document. So like they type up a document, and then whatever isn't on there, we supply to them, and we'll do like a mini training with them before Ohio has their spring officers training, because the District of Ohio does that. So ours is actually April 13th. So we'll be attending that with all the other clubs in Ohio.
Yeah, transition documents are really powerful because the people can look back on them throughout the year during their term. So that's definitely a great idea, Lizzie. Tom, did you have an idea? And then I see one in the chat. We'll wait till after
A
Tom.
little bit of an idea and a question.
Yes.
Where I came from in Calneva, Decon was where the new e-board learned their positions. And I assumed that was the case where I am now, but maybe that's too big of an assumption.
No, I know at Alabama Decon each year, we like when I was on the district board, we do a transition meeting right after Decon, but the actual training will happen about 2 weeks after. So, and we'll do like little things here and there, but like we'll have a huge training weekend a few weeks after.
Okay.
That way
Thank
they're
you.
ready to go on April 1st.
That's
Yep.
for you and I to talk about it in more depth. Thank you.
Yes. I know some districts do train the officers at Decon, but not all of them. I see in the chat, John said, I use the club leadership education resources and I've made updates to the materials. I host trainings for my club officers and also for the district at the convention. That's perfect. Yeah, training is so important. Like you don't just, I mean, we want them to learn, but we don't just want to throw them into something and not give them anything to work with, right? We want to train them, make sure they strategize for the year ahead, and really plan for the year ahead too. So all great ideas. Anyone else? Okay. Next question. What is your club doing to fundraise for decons and or icon? So your district conventions or your international convention?
Our Circle K club did a candle sale. So they found a website from Michigan, and then they sold candles to their family members so they could hand them out at Christmas.
Listen, Lizzie, that's dangerous. I have like 50 candles. Don't tell me about that. Because you know I will buy it. Yeah, that's a great idea. Especially like around Christmas time, like people need something to give to people, and it's like just there's the idea right in their face. So that's perfect. What else have y'all been doing the fundraise?
Something that my home club does is that we work the concessions at all of our sporting events at our school. I go to a really large SEC school. So we do the concessions at basketball, gymnastics, football, soccer, basically all of the different sports. And we're able to raise a lot of money through concessions, which is helping our club be able to send people to decon and then to icon as well.
Thank you, Madison.
It's not really as, oh, sorry.
All right, sorry, Eric. Taylor, we started doing a car wash in the fall, and each fall we do it with a different fraternity or sorority, and that helps bring money to help raise for Brick for Brick. So it's a lot of fun. I think everyone has a great time doing it.
Yeah, it's always fun unless you're washing your own car, but like it's really fun to wash other people's cars. So that's a great idea, Robin. Thank you.
I was just say it's not really a fundraising thing, but I'm a lieutenant governor for Kiwanis for my division, and what I did is our Western is planning on driving to Pittsburgh, so I just put it out as a lieutenant governor. Said, hey, look, I would love to have all my clubs give me $50 for gas for to help them get there and stuff like that, and all of them but one said yes. And it's just simply, so you just got to ask. And I know one person said that they didn't have as much Kiwanis support, but get to your lieutenant governor and have them ask other clubs in your area. Because like the one thing with Western, we went with 3 clubs to sponsor Western Michigan. So we actually have 3 Kiwanis clubs that do it. So there's other clubs out there that want to support, even if the closest one doesn't. So
that is so true, Eric. That's so true.
We did a that Gertrude Hawk candy sale. I mean, everybody loves a candy bar, and
Yeah.
it was a very easy fundraiser. And the one nice thing is you don't have to pay for the candy bars until the end. So till after you collect the money, which made it a lot easier. But that helped because I advise a smaller school, so we don't have. But I also just on the other things that you were talking about for getting the kids involved. I have students this year that are way more involved in Kiwanis functions, which has really brought both clubs together, and it makes it a lot easier when they want money for things that the Kiwanians know they are involved in our projects, as opposed to just showing up for decon or icon saying, okay, I need money to send me to convention. So
Right. That is so true as well. I mean, we can't just go and ask for support and not provide it ourselves, right? It's so important to have that relationship to make sure that we're having the biggest impact on our communities as possible. So thank you for sharing, Allison.
Taylor, this is Robin again. We just started selling pretzel rods.
Selling what? I'm sorry.
Pretzel rods.
Oh, pretzel rods.
Yeah, chocolate covered pretzels. And I got the idea from one of our key clubs, and so I brought it back to the Circle K, and they liked the idea. Again, you have to upfront the money, and we had to borrow some money from our Kiwanis club, and we paid them back. But we sell them for $1, and we make somewhere about 30 cents per pretzel rod. And my biggest buyers are the Kiwanis. I average about 35 to 40 pretzel rods every time I go to a meeting. So Kiwanis have a sweet tooth, so take advantage of it if you can.
That's a great idea, Robin. Trustee Matthew in the chat said, my home club has had success in doing a pie in the face fundraiser on campus. Yeah, mine too, except my club does it with shaving cream. Fun fact, it's cheaper. It's not as fun, but if you're looking for a more cost efficient process, get shaving cream. But yes, Matthew, thank you. Pie in the face is always super fun and tends to normally be really successful. So. And like, you got to get people fired up, like not just the club members, like you got to contact the members' families and their friends. And like, do you want to see your daughter get pie in the face, or do you want to see your friend get like pie in the face? Like, people get fired up. It's great. Any other ideas? Okay, do we have any, last question, actually, I'm gonna ask one more. We have a few more minutes. How do you celebrate and recognize the achievements of your clubs? So sometimes we can ask a lot of our members and we can be like, hey, let's work on this, work on this, work on this. How do we make sure that they know we see their hard work? How do you recognize them?
Ohio State, we partner with our Kiwanis Club, and then we also have an alumni society too. So the Kiwanis Club, the Circle K Alumni Society at Ohio State, and the students, we do a end of the year recognition dinner at our alumni society house. So we have been doing it for over 10 years, and that's when we hand out our scholarships, and then we induct the new board, retire the old board, and the students get a free dinner out of it, and it's a lot of fun just to network with them.
Yeah, Lizzie, that sounds great. Like, it's for sure gonna make sure that people know that they're appreciated. That's a great idea. Thank you. Yes, Linda.
I think it's also just as simple as a handwritten thank you note, personalized and specific. Exactly what you're saying, thank you, or recognizing what they're doing. And then also using the group chats. If you're in the group chats with your students, then use that as an opportunity to, give a thumbs up or a high five or a shout out to the students. But find ways, be careful you don't leave someone out and make them feel marginalized. Be sure to find things to recognize each of the students for sincerely, but a thank you in some way.
Yes, Linda, because everyone brings something different to the table, right? They're not all going to bring the same strengths to the table and they're going to complement each other, right? But yes, Linda, that's a great idea, especially when we're in an age of like just emails and texts and maybe a phone call if you're lucky every now and then, but so many emails and text messages that personalized handwritten letter is definitely a great idea for sure. What else do you do?
Taylor, this is Robin again. One of the things that we do is we have a Circle K member of the month. And we recognize a Circle K member who has contributed the most to the club by either service or by leadership. And they get a nice certificate and get their picture taken, and we put it in our newsletter. And at each of our meetings, our newsletter editor takes photographs of each of the different groups working on their service project. And again, we ask if we could take their photo, and if they say yes, then we send them a copy of that. And then we post that on our Facebook page. And most of our students don't really see Facebook as much, but their parents really enjoy it. We get a lot of positive feedback from the parents because they do see Facebook more than some of the other social medias. And then one of the things that we did a few years ago is I spent some time with our Kiwanis, and now we give out 3 to 4 $1,000 scholarships to our Circle K members. And again, they have to apply for it. And again, it helps them cover some of the costs for going to BW. So that has really helped, and I feel like that they do appreciate that. And they have to go to the Kiwanis meeting and talk about their involvement, and they have to talk about what their goals are when they pick up the check. So that's been a really positive thing for both our members and for our Kiwanians as well.
Yeah, Robin, that's great. And to Josh's point, y'all are killing it in Ohio. Yes. With the scholarships, so my Alabama Kiwanis, I got a scholarship last year, and they also asked me to come and talk about all the work that we were doing on the international board and just what Circle K was doing at the University of Alabama. So it's really a great opportunity for the students to say, hey, this is what we're working on. These are the things that we're accomplishing in our community. So that's excellent. Linda, do you have something? I see your hands raised. Okay. All right, well, we have about 2 more minutes left. Are there any final questions? Of course, if you think of any, you can reach out to us. We're here to help. Okay. Well, thank you all so much again for hopping on. The next advisor roundtable is March 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So mark your calendars now for that event. It'll be great. We'll have more advisors on the call, more conversations. So definitely be on that call. And yes, Robin, that's excellent. Nominee CKM. Yep, that's great. Yes, so thank you all so much for your participation. Really appreciate it. Great discussion, great conversation. You all have a lovely week and let us know what we can do to support you.